tonight, but definitely tomorrow morning. So find a comfortable seat, have all of your things. And like I said, let's start with a little loving kindness, a little metta meditation. So sitting up nice and tall, crossing at the ankles, maybe even working to get the shins to cross and see how that feels on your hips. So even right here, we're already starting with our hip work. And then just notice where your shoulders are in space, your proprioception, and bring the shoulders over your hips so you feel like your spine is nice and tall. And you can feel the crown of your head reaching towards the sky. And then just bring some awareness to your shoulders. What are they doing? Maybe just inhale, float the shoulders up towards your ears, and slowly relax them down your back, away from your ears again. Just notice that space you've created. And if you want to do it a couple more times with your breath, you may. Inhale, float them up. Crunch, yeah. Oh, I have a nice little pop in there. I had a shoulder injury a few years ago from sliding down some stairs in Vermont because dummy over here decided to wear socks on wooden stairs. It messed up my shoulder a little bit. So sometimes I get little maybe it's not anything bone wise, but it's definitely tendons and like soft tissue shifting. So I feel like that kind of popping sensation. Yeah, didn't go to the doctor for that. No. All right. So bringing both hands, take your index finger, make a circle like you're doing the OK sign. So you're bringing your hands to Gyan Mudra, but you're going to leave your left hand on the top of your knee, and then you're going to bring your right hand to your heart space. And this is the heart chakra mudra. And I know we all like to wear red during Valentine's Day, but the heart chakra is actually represented by the color green. So I was actually wearing a green shirt earlier today that had love embroidered on it. So I thought that was kind of cool because green, heart, chakra, love, sure. So think about this love radiating out from your heart chakra, the center of your chest. And let's begin with sending the love to ourselves. So recognizing we are human and we make mistakes. We are not perfect beings, but we are worth all the love, even with our flaws and imperfections. We are worthy of love. We are worthy of affection. We are worthy of all that we desire. And I hope this weekend you take some time for yourself, practicing some self-care. Maybe taking yourself on a date. I do it all the time, like tonight. So do things that bring you happiness and joy. Fill your own cup. And then bring to mind anyone else, maybe a significant other, maybe a best friend, maybe a parent, sibling, best friend. Think of this person that you are very close to and send them love and compassion. So loving kindness. Smoothly breathing in and out through your nose, softening through your face. And then I would like for you to bring to mind somebody that is just like an acquaintance, kind of like on the next outer circle, if you were thinking about like people close to you, and just kind of expanding outward. So this could be maybe somebody at work that you're not very close to. It could be a neighbor, somebody you see maybe at a coffee shop pretty much on the regular, but you're not really involved. You don't really know them. They're just kind of there, kind of a neutral person. So think of this person and send them some loving kindness and compassion. And if your arms get tired, feel free to release the hands back down to the tops of the knees. And then lastly, think of somebody that perhaps you've had some kind of disagreement with, maybe somebody you're not currently getting along with, or dare say somebody you just really don't care for at all. Not your cup of tea, but even if we feel a certain way about them, it does not mean that we cannot be spreading loving kindness to them. We may not have to like everybody, but respect is definitely something that we should still give to people, even if they're not our cup of tea. Right? We can be kind of neutral with these people, hopefully. Right? If you're an empath like me, creating those boundaries and protecting your energy and not absorbing any energy around you that is not positive. Stay for 2 more cycles of breath here. And then sending some loving kindness to the people that live on your street, in your city, in your state, in your country, in your hemisphere. And then sending that loving kindness and compassion to the whole planet, all the creatures, all the bugs, all the tiny things, all the big things. And gently release the hands back down to the tops of the knees. Stay for an inhale here. Exhale, bring your chin towards your chest. Oh my goodness, it is wild out there. Let's start circling the head in one direction. It's like everybody's like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Casey's class is happening. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of ruckus. Like it'll be quiet all day and then something happens. So just slow circles in one direction. So I'm also adding other kinds of little short videos to YouTube as well. So this week I had such issues like with my own upper neck back area that I made a video, a little short yoga video for upper back stuff. So I'm like, you know what? If somebody else is feeling this way, maybe they can benefit also. All right, then reverse, go the other way with your slow circles. Inhaling as the nose comes up. When it gets to 12 o'clock, start that exhale as the nose comes down to your chest. And then the inhale begins. Good. Try to maintain that lift that you get from your inhale, even as you're exhaling. Good. Can you soften the shoulders a little bit? And then just for a moment, what's going on with your feet? Wiggle your toes a little bit. Good. And carefully bring your chin back towards center. And just take a few more cycles of breath here, chin coming towards your chest, opening up the back of your neck. Just stretching all of that soft tissue, working with the breath. So important, that breath. Release a little bit more with your exhales. But maintain the lift, maintain the length. Good. Inhale, float the head up. Exhale, drop the head back now. Open up the front of the throat. Now, instead of just dropping the head back, can you think about elongating both sides of your neck, right? So you're keeping the neck long. The only thing that's coming back is the head. So it's not so much the neck. I want you to just focus on the head tipping back. So think, lift the chin towards the sky. And then if you want to do a few like open mouth, like big O, like you're eating, chewing cud like you're a cow. Nobody said yoga had to be pretty all the time, you know? We can make some pretty funny faces in yoga. And that's another thing, right? You learn not to take yourself so seriously. Like, seriously, like when you're on your hands and knees in cat and cow, you know, especially to people that are not like super into yoga and they see like things that yogis do or like the poses we do. They're just like, what in the world? I'm like, yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously in a yoga practice. Okay, switch the crossing of your shins. It really, and another thing, like teaching kids yoga, like you really just have to be silly and they like it. Okay. One that I haven't thrown in a while because it is dynamic movement. Um, Using your nose, we're going to pretend we have a pen or a marker at the end, the tip of our nose, and we're going to take those figure eights. So sideways eights, go slow. See how slow you can go and see where you feel any tension. Like I can definitely feel the areas where I'm like, oh yeah, there's still some tightness there. Again, breathing, stretching it out. Good. All right, now for the fun part. Bring your head back to center and then go the other way. You might start to feel a little like, oh no, this feels weird. I can't do it the same way on the other side. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like, I feel challenged sometimes when it comes like side to side, like hip circles only feel correct going one way. They feel very awkward when I go the other way. I still do them, they just may not look the same from side to side. Good, let's do two more of these figure eights. I also like to call this one the Stevie Wonder. Just kind of reminds me like watching video of him playing. That's what it reminded me of being a kid. All right, come back to center, friends. Good again, just float the shoulders up. Exhale, release them. Two more times. Inhale with the breath. Float them up. Exhale, release. Open up across the chest. One last time. Inhale. Exhale, release. Okay. So let's get a little into the hips and let's do a little bit for the shoulders. I'm going to come off my bolster, but if you feel like you still need it, maybe you want to use it, or maybe you want to use a blanket if you want a little less. So we're going to come right into a super hip posture, coming into shoelace or half shoelace. So remember, the knees don't need to be completely stacked. There can be a little bit of space, but if you need to put something there, feel free to add a blanket, some kind of support if you need it. If this is just not going to work for the knees, then you take the bottom leg straight. Doesn't matter which side because we're going to do both. So the bottom leg straight, and then cross the opposite leg either above or below the kneecap, just not right on top. Okay, so we never want to place any unnecessary pressure on those knee joints. So you decide what you like, what's going to work best for you, and then even out through your sitting bones. We are going to time this one. I didn't time the other ones. Let's be here for 2 minutes. We are adding our arms because, like I said, I wanted to add the shoulders, and I love when I can get more out of a posture. So I have my right knee on top. I'm going to put my right arm on the bottom, so that means left arm is on top. And then my arms, I'm just going to let my elbow sink towards my chest, but I'm going to push my palms away from my face. So you find the degree to which you can hold it comfortably without any pain, right? Because it's not about pain. We want sensation. And breathing here. Notice where you're feeling the sensation. Perhaps even close your eyes and find that stillness and just let your breath be the music for this posture. Breathe into the back of your shoulders. Press down through your sitting bones. Where can you soften and release more with each exhale? Are you gripping your feet? Are you clenching your teeth? And just see if you make little adjustments, how it changes the posture. I corrected my posture, and that made the pose feel so different. So again, subtle little things can change the sensation. Slowly unwind on your exhale. Release your arms. Release your legs if you want to take, the leg out one at a time. I'm going to do a fun little thing that I always teach the kids. I'm going to take my hands down. I'm going to do a little spin towards the back to get the other leg on top. If you want to join me, be silly, do it. No one can see you. I can't see you. You don't have to, but if you want to, optional way to get into the next side. Okay, even out your sitting bones. Oh, I do see a comment that I think I did not see earlier. Hi, Schaefer. The dog is just busy. Oh, she is. She's doing her own thing. She's always busy. Always busy. Well, if you have an animal at home too, right? Like if you're on the floor, they want to be on the floor with you too, because that's like their territory. When you get on their territory, they're like, "What are you doing here?" Like, "Oh, you're in my area." But this one, she can go anywhere. She's allowed on the couch again in the bed, so she's a happy girl. Okay, so again, sitting evenly on the sitting bones. Again, if you're only taking maybe shoelace on this side, or maybe you did one on one side and you feel like, oh, maybe this side I need to do shoelace, but you did like full shoelace on the other side, vice versa. Find what's going to work best for you. If something's going on with one of your knees, don't force yourself into the full shoelace, right? Like, we don't need to do that. Extend that bottom leg and then just make sure you're putting that shin bone above or below the knee. All right, so let's find our shoelace once again, or half shoelace. 2 minutes. Setting the timer. So for me, left leg is on top. That means my left arm is going to be on the bottom. Right arm is on top. Good. Again, we're not lifting the elbows up. We're just going to let the elbows soften down to the heart space. But bring the hands forward if you can. That's going to give you a little more sensation in the shoulders. Again, evening out. Sitting up nice and tall. Keeping the shoulders stacked over your hips. And breathing. So maybe feeling something on the outsides of the hips, maybe the knees. Good. You got cheeky butt. Good. And then softening into those spaces. Using that breath to release more with each exhale. Letting go. Self-doubt, self-judgment, worry, fears. Let it all go. It's too heavy to carry, so let it go. Learning how to protect your energy and not allowing people to disturb your peace, removing yourself if you need to, changing the subject, right? Setting a boundary, saying, you know what, I don't feel comfortable talking about this right now. Then carefully as you exhale, release the arms, right? Those are all ways to practice self-love, right? Setting boundaries, honoring ourselves, practicing our self-care. Okay, now gently unwind the legs. Okay, since we've been there for a while, take some movement, but be very mindful, go slow. I can feel the rebound effect in my hips. So I'm going to move a little slowly back and forth with my windshield wipers. If you would like something else, please do that. Maybe you want to take your legs straight. Maybe you just kind of give them a little wiggle. Just a few more breaths. Good. All right. Something we haven't done in a minute, it feels like. Let's get down to Sphinx. Let's do a little something fun for our low back. So bringing your belly onto the floor. Ah, yes. This is going to feel delightful. Okay. Elbows are slightly in front of the shoulders. Good. And then just let the heart sink a little bit. Good. Wiggle the hips a little bit. Add anything else you might need. If you feel like you might need a blanket underneath you, add a blanket. If you want more of a back bend, you can slide a blanket underneath the elbows, give a little lift to the upper body, to the front body. You can also use a bolster, or you could use nothing. Now, if you need to come closer to the earth, walk the elbows a little wider and bring the chest a little closer to your mat. And then you can decide how you want your head. Maybe it's, maybe you want something a little more going inward. So maybe you drop your chin in towards your chest. Or maybe you keep your head kind of neutral. Or perhaps you want to open up through the front and you drop your head back, exposing the throat. These are all choices. And then notice how the low back is feeling. If it feels good, then you can maybe bring the feet and the legs together. That kind of, you don't have as much space, but if you need more space in your low back, if the low back is feeling a little tender or if it's a little too crunchy, give your body more space. Take the legs apart. And we'll breathe here. And then do a little scan here to notice if there's any tension you're holding. Where can you let go a little bit more? And for the last few moments of this posture, if you want to take it a little deeper, press into your palms, lift the elbows, come into your seal, and find stillness and breathe. Getting a nice stretch in the front body, a little compression in your back body. All right. Slowly release. Whether you're in Sphinx or if you came up into Seal, just make a little pillow with the backs of your hands, rest your head, and just pause. Notice what happens to your low back. Notice how it feels. Keep taking those smooth, even breaths. Stay for 2 more breaths. When you are ready, I'm going to just scooch a little over to one side. I'm going to get a little bit into the shoulders and the hips. So we're going to airplane the right arm out. Keep that left hand next to your chest and then carefully roll over to your right side. So I know you can't see my right arm, but it's out like a T behind me. So what I'm working on here is this right shoulder. And I want to set my, I want to make sure I set the timer. We're going to be here for 2 minutes in this shape. And then we'll, of course, go to the other side. So right arm out to the side, left arm at your chest. Roll open. Your head can come down. Keeping that left hand in front of you. And then you can play with this top leg. So maybe you just roll the hips open a little bit more. Breathe here. Nice shoulder stretch. Whew. And if you want to take it deeper, maybe you bend that right leg. So both feet are on the floor and both knees are aiming towards the sky. But you take it to the depth that feels right for you. Maybe you try it out and you're like, yep, nope, too deep. That's okay. You don't have to do that. Remember, there's no reward. There is a reward at the end, but that's nothing extrinsic. It's all intrinsic, right? The satisfaction of knowing you did the practice. There's no medals, there's no awards, there's no trophies for yoga. I'm sorry. The reward you get is the practice, right? It's going to help us throughout our lives. Being able to breathe through discomfort, to know the moment does not last forever, right? We know this. Yoga likes to give us reminders. Good. Okay, very gently release your heart all the way to the floor. Good. If you want to just come back to your belly and pause for a moment, draw both arms alongside you. I'm going to flip around because I do not like to face away from the camera in poses. I guess that's just like, I didn't spend a whole lot of time doing theater, but when I did, the same principle, right? You're not supposed to face away from your audience. You're supposed to face them. So I just kind of continue with that same idea, right? Okay, so this time left arm out to the side. If I can get the timer going, that would be amazing. Oy. All right, 2 minutes on this side. Left arm out to the side in the T. Bring your right hand next to your heart, your chest, and then carefully roll yourself to the side. And then you decide how deep you want to take it. You could keep the legs stacked just as they are. You can keep them straight or put a little bend. If you want to take that top leg and place it behind the left leg, and then just continue to roll the hips open. Hey, mama. You being nice to your chickie right now? Good. So nice little opener for the shoulder, for the chest, and the hips. Again, you know I love the postures where we can get a couple different target areas. And then maybe you decide you want to experiment with both knees. Maybe even if it's just for a moment or two. See how it works. If it's too much, come out. You don't need to stay there. You are not stuck. It's also another practice in self-care, right? Sometimes we have to change our minds, and that's okay. We can do that. We can change our minds. We can change our opinions after we get new information, right? Being flexible in body, mind, and spirit, right? Okay, very carefully roll back to your belly. Bring both hands under your shoulders, and let's come into a child's pose. Now you can take whatever kind of child's pose you like. If you want to relax your arms in front of you for an extended child's pose, or if you want to bring your arms alongside you, do that. Again, choices: knees together, knees apart. If the knees come together, maybe it's because the low back is feeling like it needs some more support. But if you feel pretty open in your low back, then maybe you take the knees apart and bring yourself down to the floor. We're going to stay here for 2 minutes. Let's just take a little moment to go inward, do a little inner reflection, see how we feel. And just breathe. Keep allowing those sitting bones to come towards your heels. Feel a nice long spine. Softening through your face, your jaw, all of your facial features. Very carefully bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring yourself up. Good. How are we feeling? Good? Right. Come to all fours, hands and knees. Let's take some cats and cows. But do them in your own breath. So when you're ready, lift the sitting bones, lift the gaze, drop the belly, come into your cow shape. A little bend in your elbows. And then exhale, round your spine. Push your hands into the floor. Round your back, drop the crown of your head. Again, and just keep moving with your own breath. Do some cats and cows for a few breaths. Open up across the heart space. So draw those shoulders towards your sitting bones. Good. And then when you're ready, come back to a neutral position. Okay, something we haven't done in a while. And the feet. So let's curl the toes under. So nice. Make sure all of the toes are facing the same direction. Good. I'm going to be here just for a minute. We don't have to be here for very long to feel the sensations. If it's too much to have the sitting bones on the heels, then you can come up and just, stand on your knees. Also put some padding, put another blanket if you need to, if the knees are a little sensitive or if you're lacking cartilage or like you've had some surgeries. Make it a little softer. See how it feels. You can also do this against the wall. So you can put the toes on the wall and then just like lean into it. So the same position, right? Same thing. It's just a different way to do it. So if you want to do that at the wall, you can do that. 30 seconds on each foot if you want. Again, just making sure all the toes facing the same direction. None of them got caught. A couple more breaths. You got this. It's uncomfortable, but it's not like, oh no. I mean, maybe, but just breathe. If you need to come out sooner, come out sooner, but we are finished. Okay, come to hands and knees, uncurl the toes, give the tops of your feet a little tap, tap, tap. All right, now, always we do one, we do the other. So now it's the tops of the ankles, right? The tops of the feet that we're gonna stretch here. Bring your hands next to your knees. And again, you can slide a pillow, a blanket, if you want to put the blocks underneath the knees for support, or you could just lift them on their own, any degree. Carefully lift the knees up. We only do these for a minute, right? Because it's a lot of sensation, a lot of bones in the feet, a lot of bones in the feet, the ankles, so much going on. That's why it's so difficult to heal anything going on in the foot because it's constantly moving. There's so many parts to it. Just keep breathing. Maybe lift a little more. I always love it. Like, oh, yoga looks so easy. Cool. Come join us anytime. It's always fun, like when the big burly like CrossFit people are like, yoga's a joke, it's so easy. And then they do it and they're like shaking. Okay, gently release the knees down. Again, hands and knees. Good. Again, maybe a little tap, tap, tap with the tops of your feet. All right. Woof. And let's just come to a nice, comfortable Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet come together. And we've done this not too long ago. So go ahead and take your hands and then just begin to massage the feet. This is a really nice practice. I know we used to do more of feet and hands. So maybe every once in a while, we'll just throw some in at the end or at the beginning. We don't have to take too long, but these are also important areas. So just massaging the arches, massaging the long bones. Good. And then rubbing each toe, pinch the webbing, and then massage the toe, and then pinch the toenail. So it's long bones, toes, pinch the webbing, pinch the toe, nail. Good. Sometimes it's easier to do it with the feet on the floor for the pinching part. Releasing all that stuck energy, believe it gets stuck. We need to move it, right? Move a muscle, change a feeling. Okay, so before we head into our on our back doing our twists, let's take it into a butterfly. So you decide how close you want your feet. Maybe the feet are further away, maybe they're closer. But this is just going to give us another opportunity to get into the hips and the spine, the whole spine. So as you're ready, maybe pull the feet in closer, pull them apart, up to you. And then carefully on an exhale, begin to round, come forward. And let's go inward for about 3 minutes in our butterfly shape. Again, maybe tucking the chin in, getting a little bit more sensation in the cervical spine. And just allowing gravity to do the work here. Very carefully begin to roll up. Good. Take your hands to the outsides of your knees. Bring your legs together. Then you can keep a little bend in them and then scooch to the center of your mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock. Hi, Mama. Just rock a little side to side. And then your choice, my friends, the 3 different options for your twist. If you want to take both knees together to one side, left arm extended out, one leg straight, one leg bent, the top knee bent, twist to one side. Or if you want to take it very deep, maybe you take it into the twisted roots and drop the knees over. And if the knees are not touching the floor, slide a block or a bolster or something underneath so that you have some kind of support. But we will just take this little twist for a moment. Breathing here. Letting go. Realigning our spine. And breathing. The most important part of this practice is our breath. I just want to thank all of you for showing up. Did anybody bring somebody with them, or did anybody invite somebody to the practice? You don't have to be practicing together, but did you invite somebody virtually and say, hey, come join me in a yoga class on Valentine's Day? Again, thank you for your contributions. They help me to sustain this class on this platform. So any amount is amazing. Some of you like to donate off of Insight Timer. You're more than welcome to do that. All right, very carefully. Roll to your back on an inhale. Exhale, hug the knees in. And whichever version of the twist you took on that first side, take it on this side as well. Carefully guide that knee over. Opposite shoulder is still touching the floor. Breathing here. Good. Good. Carefully roll to your back once more. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a rock, or maybe take it into a happy baby. Take any other movements that you might need before we settle into our very brief but very important Shavasana, our final resting posture, where we just lay down and we relax and we let all of those benefits of all the postures we did just kind of integrate into the nervous system. So, my friends, when you are ready, go ahead and come down to your backs. Maybe take a blanket for your head, a bolster for underneath your knees. It's very nice to have the bolster if the low back is feeling a little tender from any of our postures or just from life. It gives a little extra space so you can be comfortable on your back. Bring the arms alongside you. Gently tuck the shoulders underneath your heart, lifting the heart center. Palms will face up towards the sky. And the flat part of your skull is resting on the blanket or your mat. And the eyes will close or gently soften. Breathing here. Letting go of any controlled breathing. Just return to your natural rhythm. Nothing to think, nothing to do, doing nothing can be good for you. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement into your fingers, into your toes. Extend the movement to your wrists and to your ankles. Hi, baby girl. What are you doing? And reverse those circles with the ankles and the wrists. And then inhale, reach your arms overhead, full body stretch. Bend one knee at a time. Carefully roll to one side and just pause there for a moment. Reminding ourselves of that metta, that loving kindness and compassion we sent out to our loved ones, our friends, our acquaintances, strangers, and even the people that maybe are not our cup of tea. Right? We all are deserving and worthy of love and that proper attention. All right, how are we feeling, everybody? Good? Ah, gosh, I am so grateful for all of you for being here tonight. Let's see, how many are we this evening? We got up to 92. Awesome. I love it. Hello, everybody. Welcome. All right. So maybe it's Friday evening for you. It is 6 p.m. now here in Vegas. And I know we have people practicing from all over the country. We even get people in other parts of the world. So I'm always like blown away when I see people in Australia. They're like, oh, it's Saturday morning. I'm like, that's lovely. That's a beautiful way to start your Saturday morning with a little yin. And it's a lovely way to end the evening as well. So if you are preparing for bed, enjoy, have a restful slumber. For the rest of us, let's go ahead and, well, for all of us, let's close the practice. So on your inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in all of you, my friends. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up to this Valentine's Day Yin edition. Betty girl, what in the world are you doing? What are you doing? What are you hoovering? Come here. Come here. Okay, maybe not. Oh, all right, friends. Hi, Peyton. Hello. Hello. Thank you very much, Miss Sally. I appreciate that. Your donations are always greatly appreciated and accepted. So always feel free to donate what you can, pay what you can on this platform. It is all appreciated and all, this allows me to be, to sustain on this platform without your donations. If, I love yoga, but I can't give it away for free, because a girl's got to eat, right? So I include this as part of my income. To be on this platform. So, all right, friends, I will see you again next Friday, 5 p.m. for some yin. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Right? Thank you for showing up. Oh, yeah, my things are working again. Something like was on the Chrome or the Google or something, and it asked me if I wanted my like icons to show up, and I was like, yeah. So let's see. Does this still work? Does it work? At the okay. Hi, Irene. So happy that you could be here with me too, all of you. All right. So again, we'll be doing it for the rest of the Fridays this month, and then remember on March 1st, it's already on the calendar here on Insight Timer. March 1st, which is a Saturday, I will be doing that self care workshop again. We did it back in January, and I know some people wanted to have it again, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it again in March. So March 1st, it's 90 minutes. There's going to be journaling, meditation, yoga practice. It's restorative yoga. The description is on here, so feel free to join, sign in. I think there's 3 or 4 people signed up, but continue to show up for the practice. And then in May, on Saturday, since there's 5 of them, I'll be doing the trauma sensitive yoga practice for sexual abuse survivors. So I did that back in September. So that was a 5-week class I did on Wednesdays. I can't do it on Wednesdays. I can do it Saturday mornings. So it'll be there. But if you wanted the first go around that I did back in September, all 5 of those classes are on the YouTube page. And my YouTube page is Yoga with Casey. So easy, right? Keeping it basic. So if you want to go onto YouTube, all of those practices are there. This one will be up there tomorrow at some point. So, all right, friends, enjoy the rest of your evening, or if it's tomorrow for you, Saturday, enjoy. And don't forget to drink your water. And I will see you next time. Sending you all much love from me to you. Yay.